All right, everybody knows what time it is. It is hashtag Friday Pie Day, baby. We've got Bitcoin pumping, doing numbers. I think we can all agree that we're all having a good time, right? We are the exact opposite of this guy.
Like, I'm feeling a little irked, or at least like irked adjacent, and then these guys bringing their bad vibes. Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
We are straight up having a good time. We're straight up having a good time, bro. So, with that being said, Bitcoin is above $100,000. Bitcoin is officially bullish. If you were in the NORDIC Alpha trading room, right, you would have known that if you get above the 98 level, it's going to be massive, massive short liquidations. And that's what propelled us up here to this value area high. This is looking extremely good for altcoins. This is looking extremely good for the Wolfer Finance portfolio of ETH, Avalanche, Sonic, Flux. Like, it's looking awesome. Okay. It's looking good for nice and primed for another potential bull run, hopefully an alt season, right? Everything's looking great. Things looking beautiful. We're all having fun. So, all that weight might have just been worth it, right? So, with that being said, let's get into exactly what's happening on the charts. Let's get into what's happening in the news, right? Because the news kind of drove this, but the technicals almost told you what the news was going to say. So, Trump is going to Switzerland, okay? The Trump and the Trump administration, the Trumpster, the Trumpity. They're going to Switzerland. Okay, why? You ever heard of a place called China? China? Yeah, you ever heard of those guys? He's supposed to be talking to them about the trade talks, right? So trade talks are commencing. That is why gold fell, okay? That is why equities, risk on assets like Bitcoin pumped, okay? One of the reasons, okay? So, historically speaking, in periods of uncertainty, okay, in periods of global turmoil, trade tensions, whatever it is, bad economics, right? In those periods, risk on assets get dumped. But once those start to kind of like fall off, right? The trade tensions, the global uncertainties, the wars, things of that sort, things tend to recover and they start to bump back up to previous levels. Now, we knew, well, maybe you didn't, but you know, if you were watching my TA on my channel, you did know. If you were inside of the NORDIC Alpha VIP trading room, you did know. But we knew once we got up to about $97,000, we were starting to flip towards bullish nature, okay? And then past 98 was going to be a massive liquidation of a metric ton of shorts to the tune of about $400 million in short liquidations happening at about $98,000. 98,000, wow, right? So the 98,000 did wow because then boom, bumped up to about 104.5. It was like 104.360, something in that realm, give or take a couple of cents, a couple of dial hairs, right? And now we are reaching the value area high of our range, right? Of this massive range from where we went parabolic so many months ago and cracked that old all-time high. Bang, bang, boom. I'll show you all that stuff on the charts. But first and foremost, I want to talk about what's going on in the news, man. We got some crazy stuff happening right now. One of them is the trade talks. I don't even need to show you anything on that. Here's the thing. And this is the thing that everybody, this might be an unpopular opinion. This is the thing that everybody needs to take into account. Everything people need to be aware of with the trade talks that are coming up and how it pertains to the markets and especially risk on assets like Bitcoin and the equities markets. Okay. So by announcing that the U.S. is going to neutral ground in Switzerland to sit down at the same table as China to sort out and hash out these trade and tariff scenarios, right? Good news is priced in at this point, right? So if we do get good news where they're like, oh, we have, reached this good news, kind of par for the course. You could see a little pump, but you're not going to see what we just saw where we've gone from literally 93,000 up to 104, right? You're probably not going to see that just because they say, okay, we've got the trade talks are done and we've got a deal. But what you will see, if it goes bad, you will 100% see a dump in the markets. You will see gold pump and you will see Bitcoin in the equities markets dump. So, in my opinion, this is a pivotal point in the cryptocurrency ecosystem right now. We need to make sure that these trade talks, not that there's anything that I can do about it, contrary to people's popular belief that think that I just run blockchains. I can tell Avalanche to go to a new all-time high so that we can, leg out of our position and profit, and that I have Trump on speed dial, through my handy-dandy earpiece. I do not. So I cannot guarantee that the trade talks are going to go super well. But if we do reach a consensus, I think it'll be good news. And if we don't, I think we're going to see a pretty decent sized downward movement. Okay. And I'll show you where that could potentially go so that you can prepare yourself. But with that being said, if you are here from the future, hello from the past, we appreciate you. If you're here, make sure you smash the like button, man. Make sure that you hit subscribe and then boom, baby. Bang on the notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. Let's see if there's any comments. We do. We got Dr. Phil Good. He's in here. He's throwing pizza at me. He knows that I'm just a big grown Ninja Turtle, right? We got G Wood on the drums. Absolute legend. Appreciate you, my man. We got Richard Four. He says happy Pi Day. He knows what time it is. Let's just get into all the news-based stuff really quick, and then we're going to get on the charts, man. The chart's already pulled up. My bad. Okay. So I need you guys to always, guys and gals, and non-binary people alike, this is the most woke channel on YouTube, and we love everyone. Even though everyone doesn't love me. And a lot of people say I look like a velociraptor. Okay? And that I'm dumb. But that's okay. Because you don't have to agree with everything that I say. It's kind of part of being a human and having a human experience. Disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. Here we go. So Governor Katie Hobbs, okay, she is signing a bill to create a Bitcoin reserve. Tell me something I didn't know, right? Everybody's creating a Bitcoin reserve. Texas, whoever, right? And I'm pretty sure there's like Utah. This lady's from like Utah or Arizona or some stuff like that. Days after vetoing other cryptocurrency legislation. Thanks, Katie. Thanks. Oh, yeah, it is Arizona. Yeah, she's the Arizona governor. Okay. She signed House Bill 2749 into law on Wednesday, establishing a state-managed Bitcoin and digital asset reserve fund that will hold unclaimed digital assets and staking rewards. Second state in the U.S. to create a formal framework for holding digital assets. Okay. Does anyone really care about this anymore? Or does this just seem like clickbaity BS? Right? So, like, I'm just saying, man, these states are not going to do this type of stuff. Not in the way that you think that they are. They're not going to be Michael Saylor, okay? Michael Saylor's like, yo, I'm buying billions in Bitcoin. Tens of billions, hundreds of billions if I can, right? I'm buying ridiculous amounts of Bitcoin. These states are going to be like, we have $10 million in a Bitcoin reserve, right? And it's like, I don't care, dude. I don't care. This does not pump the market. This also does not push the market and make it better. Although you can argue from a supply and demand perspective, it does. What's the whole point of having a reserve, right? In case something needs to be done, you can liquidate it, and hopefully it's worth more than what it was whenever you started putting money into it, right? So my point is that do you think all of these guys are getting into this to just hold the Bitcoin forever? Do you think they're getting into this to not make money? Would you? Are you in this market to not make money? To just say, I own Bitcoin. I'm never going to do anything with it. I'll live under a bridge and own 100 Bitcoin. No. No. So my point in saying this is central authorities are taking decentralized currencies and marketing it as a good thing for the retail investors that are trying to debank themselves and stay decentralized from a centralized agency. It's literally the governments, the centralized agencies, dudes and dudettes, homies and homettes, and all non-binary people alike. Read the friggin' room, all right? This is not bullish. No one cares, man. The U.S. Strategic Reserve don't care. Don't care. It doesn't do anything to further Bitcoin. If anything, it sets it back, okay? Because now the people you were trying to get away from and keep out of that market, your financial system, your pockets, are now getting into your pockets. That's all I'm saying. We'll move on from that. I'm not going to go on too terribly much of a rant. Now, the Trump's crypto advisor, David Bailey, has now opened up a $300 million fund for Bitcoin. Surprise, surprise, man. There's like 3 other people that are doing this, trying to buy like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and basically just be, you know, knockoff Wish.com to be Michael Saylor, right? Oh, he's the CTO of BTC Incorporated. Nice name, right? And a Trump crypto advisor, he raised $300 million to launch a publicly traded Bitcoin investment company. Yeah, that sounds like something that I would want to invest in. Here's $300 million. Go buy some Bitcoin and hold it. Bro, just go buy your own Bitcoin. Stop giving these guys your money. Just go buy your own Bitcoin. Unless they're doing something that you can't do. Like, for example, or you don't want to do. For example, Wolfer Finance, what do? We diamond hand our assets and we master and validate our node. It's a complex thing to do, right? You got to host the nodes. You got to keep them up and running. You got to do all the stuff, right? Do you really want to have to host master and validator nodes? Probably not. But how easy is it for you to just go and buy some Bitcoin, right? Hold on. I just bought Bitcoin. So what do I need to give this guy $300 million for? This is also not bullish for the market, is all I'm saying, right? No, funding for the new company named Nakamoto. Oh, buzzwords, trigger words. $200 million in equity. Oh, that's not surprising. Look at this one. $100 million in convertible debt. Literally stealing Michael Saylor's whole business model. Wild concept, bruh. That's pretty crazy. So my point is that when these guys buy these and when people are buying ETF shares, you're not buying Bitcoin. I hate to break it to you. When you're buying an ETF share from BlackRock, you're not buying Bitcoin. They have the Bitcoin. Ask them for your Bitcoin and see if they give it to you. They're going to put you through so many hoops to get your friggin' Bitcoin, right? Go buy Bitcoin on PayPal. Ask them for your Bitcoin. They're going to tell you, no, you don't get Bitcoin. You can literally cash it out and then go figure out where to buy it. So, okay, now crypto has just become numbers on a screen, just like the banking system, right? So these news headlines, they don't mean jack 90% of the time. So just understand, like, and secondarily, it's going against the entire thesis of what most people bought into crypto for. I don't care about decentralization. I truly, I do not care. I'm just bringing this up because I know some people are like, oh, decentralization. Oh, no, keep your hand out of my pockets. I got my private keys, man. My keys, my crypto. I don't care about that personally. I run a centralized company where I have all of the assets right now. Don't get me wrong. We have all of the assets, okay? They're not on some centralized exchange or whatever. Obviously, they will be if we want to offload them, right? And we want to sell them in a high volume. We can do that on a centralized or decentralized exchange. But my point is that, yeah, all of our assets are housed in our wallets, right? But in any case, like, my company is centralized. I am the CEO. I'm the founder. I'm the managing director of the board. I'm the president of the company. What I say goes in the company. I'm totally fine with to a certain extent, centralized nature in some aspects, right? But to the people that are like, decentralization to the moon, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. They are centralizing it right now in front of your eyes, and most people don't even see it. It's wild. I can't believe people are like Yeah, ETFs. Yeah. Michael Saylor. All right. So, yeah. Now, Coinbase is also going to acquire the crypto options platform, Deribit. Now, this is probably actually good news, right? This is probably actually good news for Deribit. Does this affect you? I don't know, but that would be cool. Like if they could bring that to us and like make it more United States mainstream, right? Because I don't know if people actually trade options. I trade options sometimes. Crypto options, we'll just call it what it is. They're volatile, okay? Because Bitcoin's already volatile enough, and crypto options are 100x leveraged, or at least maybe not crypto options, but you get where I'm going with it. Like options in the stock market are 100x leverage. It's 100 shares per. So options already come with inherent leverage as it is. You can trade leverage on most exchanges. So that's okay, whatever, right? But the whole point of this is that if Coinbase buys this, United States citizens should now be able to trade like legal leverage, which is awesome. That would be great, I think, for the U.S. markets. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. If you don't know how to trade, do not trade leverage. Seriously. I know I trade leverage on my channel and stuff, and people see it, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And we make money inside of the NORDIC Alpha VIP trading room and community, and we trade leverage in there and stuff like that. But, like, that's me. I've been in the market for 10 years, right? If you're just getting started trading, please don't trade leverage. Please don't trade leverage. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Or at the very least, go get an education. You're going to pay for your education one way or another. You're going to pay for it by either going and getting somebody that's already where you want to be and saying, let me learn from you, I'll pay you, right? Or two, you're going to pay for it by learning from the market, by losing your money. So would you rather choose to pay for it by saying, hey, I like this person. I think they can teach me what I need to know. I'll just pay them and learn from them for much cheaper than what the market will teach you? Or do you want to not choose that, think that you know everything, run out into the market, start trading leverage, and then just wipe your account? I don't know. That's your prerogative. Okay. So in any case, good to know. The Ethereum forks or whatever upgrades are coming up soon. I had to do a bunch of stupid stuff with the Ethereum validator nodes. Like they were down for like 7 days, trying to get all this stuff updated on them and stuff like that, sync into the blockchain, all this BS. But they are much more consistent now because their consistency fell off. Here, I'll just show you. It's wild, dude. These sometimes, like, this is the stuff where I'm like, this is the stuff that I promise you don't want to do. And this is why people are in Wolfer, because they're like, yeah, I'd like to master and validate a node, but I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? You don't want to, trust me, you don't want to have to deal with what I just dealt with these Ethereum validator nodes, fighting them for 7-8 days. It's ridiculous. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 6 3/4 days. I was just fighting these things, right? And if you look at the consistency of the validators, it fell off whenever all this stuff was happening. I've been fighting these things for like a month, right? And I finally got them to where now they are like stupid consistent, man. Just ridiculously consistent. And they're maximizing everything every single day, like to the T. Perfect. So this is what, this took me a while to get this done because of all the upgrades and BS that you have to do with the inputs and outputs on the validators. But in any case, it is done. So there's that. So the Ethereum validators are good to go now. And we're hoping that we see a lot more of this. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Like, let me just... Green everywhere, baby. Green everywhere. We like it. We like it. Look at Avalanche up 8% in a day, up to $24 almost, right? Beautiful. Where's Sonic? Where's Sonic at? Yeah, right here. Up to almost 60 cents now. Let's go, Sonic. That's like our biggest bag, right? We want to see Sonic go up. We also want to see Avalanche go up. If I had to pick two cryptos to see go parabolic, go back to their all-time highs, Sonic and AVAX. It's our two biggest bags. Ethereum's over 2K now. which is awesome. It really needed to get above there. It's almost at 24 hundo. So it's halfway to its all-time high. Just saying, not saying, but I'm saying, right? Okay, so in any case, let's talk about how this is bullish for the markets, okay? Because this is really good stuff, all right? It depends. It depends on like what you're talking about. Are you talking about crypto or are you talking about equities? I'll just give you the rundown. So if you're talking about crypto, I trade on BitGet. So I have BitGet, and then if I want to, I can get on MEXC. I do have an RNS ID though, so U.S. people can't normally trade on those, but I have a dual residency in Palau, which is via an RNS ID. It costs like a few $100. I think it was like 500, or it's like $2,000 for like 5-year residency, something like that. In any case, I bought it years ago whenever I first started up Wolfer. And yeah, I used to trade on KuCoin. I can trade on KuCoin too still, but I just don't. So, I mean, use whatever you want. You can use Bybit. You can use Blofin. You can use Weeks. You can use MEXC's good. BitGet I don't like as much, even though that's the one I always trade on. I know it's kind of redundant for me to say that because it's like, but you trade on it. It's just because that's where all my money was. It's just where my money was. So I just said, okay, I'll just trade on that. And they have higher fees. If you want low fees, go to MEXC. Okay, MEXC, go to Bybit. Can't trade leverage on Coinbase. Can't trade leverage on Kraken. This is what it is. If you're a US-based citizen, you're popped on that. Unless Coinbase Deribit deal goes through, and then bang, you're good to go. So, in any case, we're smacking into the top end of this range, okay? What's this range? Well, I'll show you. Let's get to a bigger chart. There we go. Okay, the 4-hour looks a lot better. Oh, yeah, and then just to answer the opposite side of that, for equities, I use Charles Schwab because what I've historically used is Thinkorswim's platform, which was TD Ameritrade. They're gold standard, in my opinion. And you can also use Interactive Brokers, but for equities and for futures, Thinkorswim, which is now under Charles Schwab because they bought TD Ameritrade. In any case, we have fulfilled the entire range. Okay, what usually happens when we come up here? Well, I mean, we could pump up, right? But a lot of times we get a rejection, okay? And if we come back down here, you know what time it is, right? So you're probably coming back down to about 96, 96.5-ish. I think 96.6 is where the point of control is on this range. And this is the range from where we went and broke the all-time high, the previous all-time high, which was over here. Let's just go to the daily charts. I'm scrolling way too friggin' far. Where's that? There it is. Sorry. So this is the previous all-time high. It's like 70, just under 74. This is where we broke it, right? So I took that fixed range volume profile and I said, what's the fair value on Bitcoin for this entire range, right? All this. And it's basically telling you fair value is $96,600. So what's this telling you? Well, this is the value area high. Okay, so what it's telling you is Bitcoin is incredibly overvalued right now. What we're seeing right now, too, is a potential, if we close down here, anywhere below about, I think like 102.6 is a topping tail candle. Secondarily, we would then see a massive fair value gap all the way down to about $98,000. Okay. So I could see a pullback to about $98,000 with a subsequent pump. Okay. Now, here's the thing. This is a long game. Okay. So what you got to understand is AVAX is not going to $130 tomorrow. It's not 6xing or 5xing tomorrow. Okay. Ethereum is not going to go to $5,000 in 3 days. Okay. So you got to understand that what healthy markets do is they leg down, they leg up, right? So we took a massive leg up here, right? Just look, just when in doubt, zoom out. Okay. Look at this. Legged all the way down here, legged up, legged back down, legged up. Took a massive leg down, legged back up, right? Even right here, we legged up, leg down, legged up. Then leg down, again, legged up, leg down, leg up, leg down, legging up. Hopefully we smash through to new all-time highs eventually. But I want to show you what is potentially happening. Okay. Give me one. No. Okay. I'll go through it. Okay. So we have what's called a WV pattern, right? This thing has already been ran through, just like shot through, but you can extend it all the way up here if you really wanted to. And then you could extend this one again, all the way up here, and then bang, just like this. And somewhere in this realm of $89,000, you can catch a friggin' nasty bump, dude. And then bring it over here. And you're hitting all-time highs, like new all-time highs, right? Pretty wild. So in any case, where's my WV? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Hold on one second. Who are you?
My name is Steve. I'm doing a show.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be here in such a big room.
I
told them this.
You did?
Yeah.
That's why I asked. I was earlier, so I asked. I just couldn't tell you anything. I wouldn't tell him.
Really?
Yeah, I asked. I literally did ask, but I said I'm early. So you mind if I come in and she said okay.
Yeah, she called me specifically.
Yeah. No, you're fine with this. It's no issue. It's not a big deal. Okay, we can. Okay. But I did ask. If I'm a bit early, and I can ask. I know.
Okay. Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm not coming in.
No problem. All right, sorry about that. Now, so secondarily, I thought I heard somebody out there. There's somebody out there. So with that being said, if we come down here to about $89,000, right? We're looking pretty good for a nice little leg up to go to potentially new all-time highs, which if you know how I teach 65 to 75% of the measured move, we're looking at about $112,000, $110,000 to $112,000, depending on, how far this thing can run. Now, secondarily, let's get the WV off of there. I'll show you some other stuff. All right. So we also have a cup and handle. Okay. And this cup and handle is massive. All right. Now, the target on this thing would be absolutely massive. Just depends on where, but this is kind of your cup and handle now, right? So let's move this down. Bing, bang, boom. And bam. Look at this target on this thing. This thing is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And this is something that people need to realize. And this is just something that I've been talking about in the groups as well. I talked about it in Verified Investing, and I also talked about it inside of the Nordic Alpha VIP trading room. Even though you have a pattern on a chart, that doesn't mean that pattern can't change or get bigger, right? So when we first started thinking about the cup and handle, we thought the cup and handle was right here, and it just stopped right here. Then we caught a pump, right? And that cup and handle just got larger, okay? And larger and larger and larger. And now we have this massive cup and handle. And this is as big as the cup and handle can get. There's nowhere else for it to go, okay? You could get it up to about 109 and see that, you could have a larger cup and handle potentially, right? But this is bringing you up to about 126 on Bitcoin. This is a pretty decent sized pump. So my point is that so long as we stay kind of above this 200 moving average or even this $89,000 range, worst case scenario, you come down here to 85 and you bounce. It's a big deal, and then you could be coming up and smashing into way bigger all-time highs. And with the market being where it's at right now, if Bitcoin goes new all-time highs, I could potentially see Ethereum going and hitting its all-time high, right? Because if Bitcoin comes up here, let's say, where's it at? Say we go from about, call it just $90,000 just to make it easy, right? If you go from 90,000 all the way up to 125, that's like a $35,000 pump. You're looking at 40% on Bitcoin, right? Alts are going to usually do double that if they actually catch their legs, okay? This is massive, all right? So we could see alts making an unprecedented, well, we won't say unprecedented because we've seen other bull runs and it's definitely precedented. But in terms of value, we could see alts appreciating quite substantially as well. So in any case, we will see how this plays out, but I do think that this is bullish. I do think that we are in a massive, massive bullish nature right here. And as you can see, there's even like kind of like a trend line that's going upwards, right? So as long as we stay above this trend line, we're looking extremely good as well. But I don't think we're going to stay above this trend line. You cannot, like, you can't just have a trend line that's like this. We'll just call it like this vertical for very long. Okay. Same thing if it's going down, like you have a trend line like that, eventually it's going to get broken to the upside, right? So my point is that it'll get broken to the downside eventually, but where does that put us? Well, we've got a catch point here at $89,000, you know, even $91,000, things of that sort. So yeah, in any case, bullish nature on Bitcoin, man, bullish case nature on Bitcoin, because we're looking at a high, swing low, higher swing high, a higher swing low, but then guess what? Lower swing high, lower swing low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But guess what now? Higher high. So long as we come down here, anything seriously, and this is what I think a lot of people don't realize, dude, anything above like $75,000 is bullish as F for Bitcoin right now. Like anything that's here, that's setting a higher high and a higher low on a macro, like large time frame where it's like, boom, you see what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is from a market structure perspective, we could be breaking market structure to the upside and kind of take it from there, you know? And once we do that, dude, like it's extremely bullish nature from here. You know, we just need to get that higher low. That's all we need. And then if we can come out and take out whatever this high is, bam, we're riding high. So I want to look at a couple of altcoins really quick, especially for the, like, I want to look at the Wolfer altcoins because we rarely get to do that. Okay. Here's what you need to see on Ethereum. So we have the confirmed breakout. Okay. As you can see right here, so long as we close this candle up here above the close of this candle, we have the confirmed breakout. Now, the next point of reference is 3K. We get above 3K, we back test it as support. I can almost assure you we're going to take out these highs, right? That's really awesome. We've been really respecting this trend channel moving downwards, and then bang, that's what we're looking at, right? We come down here, we break out, we catch our bottom, we get above this, we break out, we back test it, boom, boom. And so long as we don't go below about $1,600, very, very bullish for Ethereum long-term, right? And as you can see, you come up here, you take out these highs, bang, bang, we're looking really good on Ethereum. Now you've got this pivot point right here, as you can see, right? You extend this pivot point out right here, boom. You're looking at get above 28, call it 2850. Then you've reclaimed the 200 moving average and you've reclaimed the pivot point on this. That's looking really bullish for Ethereum, in my opinion. Okay. So that's where you can start thinking about going to new all-time highs, right? And clearing these, but you got to clear this first. You got to clear this $4,000 to $4,100 range, which I don't think is a far stretch from here. Okay. We start breaking out on these bullish patterns. Bang. We're going up, baby. Let's look at Avalanche. Okay, so Avalanche has now broken out of its descending wedge, okay? And that is going to bring you a pretty decent sized pump, at least in my opinion, right? So say it's, you know, we'll just call it this, right? That should bring you up to about the 200 moving average, which is about $30, okay? But what does that do? Okay, well, first off, it gets you to take out these highs, right? These little kind of like swing highs right here. Then you've got this swing high. You've got this swing high. Then you've got this one. Then you've got this one. So these are the levels that you need to take out essentially, right? And then, you know exactly what levels you need to take out from there, right? $65, bang. And then you've got your all-time highs way over here, right? Now, a lot of people are going to say like, oh, it's not going to happen. Dude, I disagree. On Avalanche, I disagree that it's not going to happen. I think Avalanche does have the ability to run to its all-time highs, and I'll tell you why I think that here in just a second. Let's see what we got here too. So essentially, the reason why I think Avalanche can run to its all-time highs is because it does have some of the best tokenomics in the game. So if you know anything about Avalanche and its tokenomics, it truly is a deflationary currency. It does not have the inflationary aspects of most of these other blockchains that print off tokens to pay rewards, right? That's the difference in between Avalanche and every other token. All of the fees that you pay in Avalanche, whenever you're transacting on Avalanche, they get burned, right? So all of those gas fees, they get burned. So just like putting gas in your car, you use your car, use your gas, man. Same thing on Avalanche. So it's not an inflationary token by any stretch of the imagination. So here's my point. You get a bump on Avalanche and you take out this $44 range, you're breaking that long-term downtrend that you see right here, okay? You're breaking that, which is awesome. And that's what you want to see. So then where could you be potentially going from there? Well, you take the Fibonacci, you measure it from the high to the ultimate lows, which is right around here. And you could be going up here to about $117, if not about $1.50, okay? And then past that, say that Avalanche just catches some crazy legs, you're looking at the 1.618 fib, which puts you at about $234 Avalanche. That's almost a 2x what its all-time high was. So that's what I'm seeing on Avalanche. Really, it just comes down to you got to reclaim that $44 level, which is not hard to do from here. That's less than a double up. In crypto, that's not like a super, we'll just say it's not unheard of. Let's go to FTM, which is now called Sonic. I know that, but the charts for Sonic suck. It's hard to chart them. So let me go to I think it's the Kraken chart. Is that the one that I'm on already? Okay. Okay, so here's the good news on FTM, right? You had a pretty decent like run down, right? And then you know what that is? Does anybody know what that is? I'm pretty much guaranteeing nobody knows what this is, but I will pull it up. Give me 1 second. I just want to like show people what it actually is, because most people don't even know what this charting pattern is. So I'm going to pull it up. This is a pretty advanced charting pattern, so don't feel bad if you don't know what it is, okay? Bullish Livermore cylinder, okay? So it's the bullish Livermore cylinder charting pattern, and if let me see if I can move this. We're just going to leave it like that because I can't go back in between screens if I don't. So does this look, relatively like the same is my point? Like, how do I get this thing to... Pretty much the same thing, right? So that's kind of my point. This looks a lot like a bullish Livermore cylinder. Obviously, we would like to see it, trending up the bottom trend line a little bit more, but, it is what it is. It's not, and that's that. So in any case, that is pretty much a bullish Livermore cylinder. Yeah, he said, yes, such a well-known pattern. I mean, this is why I get paid the big bucks, bro. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, this is the stuff that like pro traders know. No one would expect you to know what a bullish Livermore cylinder is. Yeah. And honestly, I didn't even know that this was on the FTM chart. So in any case, here's my point. What'll keep happening is what you'll see happen is you'll see, you know, you've got your first touch point, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then if you don't come down here and touch, you're going to keep trending upwards, right? And eventually you're going to break the upper end of this channel, right? So as you can see, as it sits right now, once we get above about $1.60, it's like, this is your level right here. I'll show you where your level is. That's it. Let's make sure this isn't. Yeah. Yeah, it's the bullish living more cylinder, baby. Get above $1.65. It's super bullish. That's all I'm saying. That's like, dude, this is really good stuff. So my point is, you know, let's see. Actually, let's see. Let's see if that lines up with the 0.5 fib real quick. .5 fibs at like what, $1.70 or something? $1.83. So yeah, you're about 20 cents off from the 0.5 fib there. Yeah, I mean, this is that's what I'm talking about, man. You get above there, it's like you're probably going up here to these highs. Probably going to come up to all-time highs once you bust out of this living more cylinder, in my opinion. In my opinion, not financial advice. Obviously, I'm going to do what I do with Wolfer's portfolio. You do whatever you want, but that's what I'm seeing on Avalanche. That's what I'm seeing on FTM. That's what I'm also seeing on Ethereum. Okay. Now, we do have a request. Let's see what Mike Owen. Mike Owen has the Bitcoin Iron Man as a profile picture. So I don't want any smoke with this guy. So I'm just going to appease his request. I feel threatened. It's scary here. All joking aside, let's go see what's up with VeChain, man. I love VeChain. Pretty sure we have a Binance chart on this already, most likely. Of course we don't. Yo! Does anybody see what's going on with VeChain at all? No takers? No takers? I'm going to give like 8 more seconds. And I'm going to stand here and I'm going to act like the screen froze. No, Dex. It's the friggin' living more cylinder, bro. It's the same thing. I just taught this to you, man. I just taught it to you. Come on, Dex. It's a living more bullish, living more cylinder, man. Potentially, right? So yeah, I mean, same type of deal here, you know. And honestly, you can even make it. What the hell is going on? Bang. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, this is a bullish living more cylinder. So again, you get right up above here, you know, you're talking 8 cents, dude. I mean, it's no holds barred. You've got pretty much no resistance all the way up to about 20 cents, man. You break that 9 cent range right around here, dude. I mean, this thing's ripping. It's going to, there's nothing in its way. There's nothing to stop it, right? And I can illustrate that even further with what's called the VRVP, which is the visible range volume profile. Look at what happens once you get up here, right? You've got a high volume node right here. You've got a, like, kind of, this is where your point of control is, right? Your point of, well, actually your point of control is way down here. But this is your value area high. which is just above that 9-cent range, right? Which is this previous swing high. You get above that, dude, like you can rip. There's not much standing in your way. And if you look over here, you can see even better. There's like nothing here, right? Zoom in. Right? Bang. You get up here, you're ripping up to about, 18, 20 cents. So you can see the volume just starts falling off. Now, obviously, this is going to change once you actually get there because people are going to start putting their orders in. I totally get that. So don't take that verbatim. But my point is that this was a parabolic move down, right? So just as fast as you go down, you can go right back up through it. So yeah, man, that's what I'm seeing in the markets. So hopefully this is helpful to people. I try to do what I can when I can. As far as Wolfer's concerned, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And we're going to sell our assets when we sell our assets. But as I see it right now, I do think Bitcoin has a short-term top here. Okay? That's just my opinion. You do whatever you want. You're talking value area high here, smacked into it. A lot of times you're going to get a rejection. You're going to come right back down here. As you can see, if you look at the visible range volume profile, point of control is right where I have it, right? So you're hitting the value area high of the visible range volume profile. And even if we scroll back and we say, okay, let's take all of this into account, right? We are way outside of that value area high, right? See what I'm saying? So, do we come back down here, back test it again, and then blast off? I think we could. We will see what happens. But as you can see, high volume node here, decent volume nodes here at 84 to 87. And then you've got your fair value gap fill right there on the daily chart. First fair value gap fill, 98.3. Second one, $89,000. So with that being said, Bitcoin is bullish, baby. Crypto is bullish. Crypto might be back. Trump says he's got 40% of his net worth in crypto. Do you believe it? Do you not? That's on you. With that being said, if he does have 40% of his net worth in crypto, he's probably going to do what he can to help it because it's going to help his own bags. So I will see everybody in the next video. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Yeah, liquid net worth. Yeah. And I hope everybody has a good #Friday Pie Day with their beautiful families. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. I will see you all soon. I'm not going to be able to stream this weekend. I got some moves to make. I got some moves to make, man. Which I'll alert people of in another video. But if you want, dude, I do TA every single day. Okay, every single day. Me and another pro trader that I know. His name is Boss, B-O-S. His name's John. We both do TA inside of the Nordic Alpha VIP trading room. If you want those high-level insights every single day on Forex, on gold, which I have an 82% win rate on, spoiler alert, Bitcoin, altcoins, other commodities, and equities, you know where to get in. Get in where you fit in. It's the first link in the description. We give actionable insights every single day. It's the one place where you can guarantee that you are going to get content. I can't stream all the time. It is what it is. I have a life. It's going to cost you less than a shot of espresso a day to be in that group. And this is the least expensive it will ever be. That I can assure you. So if you want to get into the group and get those insights, feel free to do so. I will see you in the next video. Love to everybody. Peace.